This is baby updates and
What we're doing updates.
because it's been many.
It's been a while.
Hi, I'm Janani.
I'm Siddharth. This is Dabba Stories, where we normally have a tiffin box of food, but today we already ate it. So we've got a box of fruit. It's been multiple times over the last 3 months that we've sat down and said, okay, now we're going to take a video.
We have many half-short videos also.
Yes. Yeah, some which you might get to see extended cuts of in the future. In December, we shifted house to a nice little place right next to my parents' place. And it's got a lovely balcony outside, which Achintya just loves. Actually, all the kids just love it. Because it's north-facing, and so it's generally in the shade most of the day. And therefore, they can be playing outside all day.
Yeah.
They barely sit inside the house now.
But that started a cascade of events. So it took a month and a half or almost 2 months to figure out the shifting business. All our parents helped us tremendously. And then my dad had a heart attack. Almost the day...
2 days after we
shifted. He's fine, all well. Treatment done. But then the moment they had to go to Chennai for their treatment, which is a different city. Then they came back from Chennai, my mom and my dad. And
they just about finished the isolation period that he needed. And then we all got COVID.
So back to isolation. And then we think we got COVID. We didn't get tested that first time around. We just had a sore throat and cold and cough. So we decided to assume it was COVID. And then we finished our isolation period from that assumption. And then we actually got COVID.
Yeah. So that first round of the mild cold and cough happened while Janani's father was still recovering.
Yeah.
But then when we actually got it, that really knocked us off because I woke up one morning feeling headachy. But I put it down to I didn't sleep enough in the night because of Laya. I'm going to sleep for 2 hours more. I sleep for 2 hours more and wake up because Janani takes the kids over to my parents' house. And I'm having a headache. I'm having nausea to the extent that I couldn't drink water. I had to slowly sip water and keep it in. And I never actually threw up that whole period, but I had lots of dry heaves.
In the meanwhile, over at Meena, at Sidhu's parents' place, I'm having a bit of a cough. I'm not sure what it is. And I figured it was because, I might have kept my mouth open and I'm feeling dry because of the fan. But then I realized that it's not going away. So 2 hours of being out in the veranda with everybody, having a mild cough, and then I realized, oops. And so I came back here with the kids.
Yeah. I think that was a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I was out that whole day. I was lying down, I could get up, drink some water, and that's it. I didn't eat anything that day because I could barely keep water in.
So I had both the kids. And despite being slightly ill, so Laya at this stage was 3 months old.
Yes.
And Achintya was 2.5 years old. And so it was quite a juggling act to keep them both entertained in isolation.
But luckily on Saturday and Sunday they were playing outside.
Yeah, luckily
Achintya was playing
Achintya was playing outside and not inside the house that day.
Yeah.
But then I think I overstrained myself. And so the next day, when Sidhu got better, I got worse.
And then once she got better, 3 days later, Achintya got a fever.
Yeah. And then by this time, my mom took pity on all of us and said, it's okay if I catch it. I'm going to come and help you with the kids. And so she came. And then Laya got it. And then she got it. So it was a month and a half of isolation.
But we all did well. Like everything was managed at home. My parents being next door, they were able to support us a great deal with food, and like Achitya going over there to run around once he no longer needed to isolate. I think all that isolation took a toll on him for sure. Like as a 2.5-year-old, to suddenly have this only limited set of people and only limited place to be in. It's that we finished this in January and now it's the start of March. And he's still recovering from that.
But then February has been productive. We've actually gotten things done. We've set up school, learning space for the kids. So we have the two of our kids, Laya and Achitya. And we also have Nanda, our niece, who is 11 months old. She's turning 1 this month. And then we have Kavi, our niece, who is 5.5 months old. It's almost 6 months old.
Yeah.
And so
February went in like figuring out people to hire to help keep the whole place running. And so now we finally have that capacity. It was difficult dealing with these kids on full energy, especially while we were dealing with the fatigue of COVID, post-COVID. But now things just seem so much more settled. And we're like, hey, we have a full hour where it's just the two of us. We can take a video.
What has been fun learning stories for you for over the last month because of the kids?
I think I've really enjoyed taking Achitya and Nanda out to the park. So we decided to get ourselves back on track. We all need to make some promises every day. And one of the promises was that I'm going to take him to a park every day. Or some adult is going to take him to a park every day. It's helped so much. I've seen him go from not really wanting to be around other people to having a slightly tense relationship with Nanda to now going and hugging her and running after balls and throwing it and catching it. I mean, it's strange. This should be completely normal for a toddler, right? To be running after balls and playing with people. But this poor child has been stuck inside and isolated since March 2020.
Yeah.
So these park visits are really great, and I'm also doing a bunch of rounds of the park, running, getting exercise in, and it feels really good. And using all this outdoor gym equipment that's been installed in playgrounds around Malaysia.
It's quite fun how they at this age they pick up on your excitement really, really easily. All you have to do to get them laughing and running is to run and laugh from one room to the other, and then they just move the game from there. You have to participate. You cannot sit around and do nothing. But that's all you have to do. You have to run, and if you want to and you want to really amp the excitement up, shout. Is enough.
That was the learning of initially going to the park. It's not about repeatedly telling the child, go play, come play, why are you not playing? But he just sat and two of us were playing with a ball. And he got excited and came. So
that's been fun.
Yeah.
For me, what's been really fun? Watch them learn language. All the kids have their own thing that they're trying to do. So Achitya is exploring actual multiple languages. This is a really funny thing that happened. We went out one weekend to a place that Sidhu's parents have a little far away. And so we met a bunch of people we don't normally meet. One of whom is this person called Dilip, who's the gardener there. He speaks Hindi. And so Achitya was fascinated with Dilip Anna, and he was watching him walk around the garden and do various things. And so Dilip turned to me and asked me, does the baby speak Hindi? I said, no, he speaks Kannada and Tamil. And then I translated that to Achitya. I said, this is what we talked about. He said, Papa, Hindi varo. Varo means he speaks to himself about himself in third person. So he's saying, I speak Hindi. I said, Aptiya, Kami, is that so? Show. He said, Hindi.
and he was so proud of this discovery that later when we relate this story to anyone, he takes up the narration. Like he will say his dialogues in the story and like giggle and be like very happy with himself for having done that.
But I mean, other than that, he's actually trying to learn Kannada, which is we speak Tamil at home, and so he's learning Kannada, which is the language of the city that we're living in, the state that we're living in. And so he will ask us to speak Kannada to him, and we'll do that. And then he will slowly, like, shyly walk around like this and try and make the word up in his mind. And sometimes he'll giggle because he won't be able to. Or he'll add a word and then we'll notice, and then he'll become really shy that he's added that Kannada word into his vocabulary. Yeah. And then Nanda has become so descriptive about what she wants. That
as 11-month-old.
She doesn't speak, she does say. She uses like ta-ta-ta, ta-ta-bata, those kinds of things. And she points where she wants, and she's able to communicate. And Nanda and Achintya are able to design and play their own games for 1 or 2 minutes, and then it devolves. But they're able to communicate about that, and that's interesting to see. Laya and Gauri are becoming so much more interested in her, the world around them, and they're communicating that they want to be involved.
Yeah. Now when Laya wants something, if she's sitting on your lap, she'll be leaning forward, and like jumping off. And so it's really great that she and Gauri are 1 month apart. And so we've been seeing one thing happen after the other, and their fascination with each other, their fascination with the elder siblings. And it feels so good that all these 4 kids have each other to grow up with.
Yeah, I think Achintya really missed that first 1.5 years before Nanda came along. I'm just thinking about how his life would have been different if not for pandemicness. Yeah.
I stopped my full-time job end of December. And that was great timing as we narrated what happened. Like there's no way I could have held a full-time job through how January went. I was working in a place that I really enjoyed, but I'd taken up a bunch of administrative work just to get the place going until students came, and I realized that that's not what woke me up being excited in the morning. And those last couple of months, I wasn't singing, I wasn't dancing, I wasn't making music, which I associate with me being well functioning. Because there was just no time between work and coming home and the kids. And I'd always come back and be missing, like, have missed what the kids did. And so it's been incredibly healing to be back. And one of the things that the promises that I made to get us back in the groove after COVID is to play half an hour of tabla every day, which Laya joins me for. She's really fascinated by it. Like, she could be agitated and you just bring the tabla and play. Like, make one sound and she'll stop and she'll turn.
Which is fun because if we haven't told you before, her name Laya means rhythm.
Yes. Yeah. So, in fact, in January, I had planned that I would make this video called Tabla with Laya every day, and I took about 3 or 4 of them, where she would wake up early in the morning, and it would just be me and her outside the room, while Achintya and Janani slept inside the room, and I'd be reciting various things in the language of tabla to her, and I take a video of her reactions and watching it. But then COVID happened, and then her sleep schedule changed, then something happened, and that whole project disintegrated. But for the last week and a half, I've been getting in that half an hour of proper tabla riyaz every day with her in front, and it's going so good in it. I'm so happy for it. So
I tried to join Siddharth. So it's been a few years, but I used to play the flute. And I still know how to play it, obviously, so I tried to join him. And wherever I go, Achintya now follows. He's going through a phase where he's essentially my tail. And so he's decided that if I play the flute, he needs to examine the flute between every note because he's curious about how it works. So I'll play 2 notes and he'll be like, Papa Pakare. And he'll remove the flute from my mouth and stare into its hole. And he'll look at it and he'll say, ah. And he put it back to my mouth. So it didn't go as planned.
What have you been up to, Janani?
I've had to make peace with not being up to any one specific thing. I've been trying to focus most of my energy towards Sampurna Ahara and most of non-baby, non-self-care, non-house needs energy towards Sampurna Ahara. It's not been too much of that though. We had grand plans after shifting and after setting up school about having 8 hours of work every day. And we listed a whole bunch of things and we put it into spreadsheets. Maybe we should have just spent that time working instead of planning.
No, but I think that time is coming now.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Now we're able to shoot a video.
Yes.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Without interruption.
And so we're really looking forward to making the space happen more. And so looking forward to your thoughts. What have you guys been up to? Have you gotten COVID the last 2 months?
Oh.
Hope it wasn't bad. Yeah.